You think you know when someone leaves, you think it happens in a moment. A door closing, a final word, a sudden absence. But what if I told you that every person who ever left you had already been gone for months? What if the goodbye was just the echo of a death that happened in silence, long before you noticed? She was gone long before goodbye, and you never saw it coming. There's a phenomenon psychologists don't talk about in public spaces. They call it emotional departure. It's the moment when someone decides, somewhere deep in the architecture of their mind, that they're done. Not angry. Not hurt. Just done. And here's what makes it terrifying. That decision doesn't announce itself. It doesn't send you a message. It sits quietly in the back of their eyes while they still say I love you. It hides behind their smile while they still hold your hand. You're living with someone who has already left. You just don't know it yet. In 2019, a research team at the University of California studied over 3,000 relationships that ended. They asked one question: when did you really decide it was over? 73% said the decision happened at least 6 months before the actual breakup. Some said a year. Some said longer. And here's the part that breaks something inside you when you hear it. When asked if their partner noticed anything different during that time, 89% said no. No one saw it. No one felt it. The person they loved was a ghost living in a body that still performed all the rituals of love. You've been there. Maybe you were the one left behind, searching for the moment it all went wrong. Replaying conversations. Analyzing text messages. Asking yourself what you missed. And the truth is, you didn't miss a moment. You missed months. Because she wasn't there anymore. She was performing. Every kiss was theater. Every "how was your day?" was a script. She had already walked out the door in her mind. Her body just hadn't caught up yet. But why? Why do people leave before they leave? Because the human mind is a coward when it comes to confrontation. We are wired to avoid conflict, to preserve safety, to keep the peace even when the peace is killing us. So instead of saying, I don't feel it anymore, we build a quiet exit. We start detaching. Slowly. Piece by piece. We stop investing emotionally. We stop planning futures. We stop seeing the person in front of us as someone we are building with. They become a situation we are managing. And every day, we practice every day, we rehearse the absence. There's a name for this in psychological literature. Relational decay syndrome. It describes the process where emotional intimacy dies cell by cell, so slowly that neither person identifies the exact moment of death. It's not a fight. It's not betrayal. It's erosion. And by the time one person finally says the words, the other is left standing in a graveyard, wondering when the funeral happened. In 1978, a social psychologist named Dr. Elaine Hartfield conducted an experiment. She brought couples into a room and asked them to describe their partner's eyes. The couples who were deeply connected could speak for minutes. They saw color, depth, story. The couples who were emotionally detached, they struggled. Some said brown or blue and then went silent. Because they hadn't really looked in months. They'd been looking at a role. A placeholder. Not a person. That's what gone before goodbye looks like. It's the moment someone stops seeing you. You're still there. You're still talking. Still trying. But in their eyes, you've become wallpaper. Familiar. Ignorable. Part of the background. And maybe that's what hurts the most. Not that they left. But that they left without you knowing. That you were fighting for something that was already dead. That you were holding on to someone who had let go long ago. You were in love with a memory. And she was counting days until she could finally say what her heart had already whispered months before. But here's the question nobody asks. What if you're the one who's gone? What if, right now, you're in a relationship where you're still there, but you're not? What if you've been planning your exit in the quiet corners of your mind, and the person you're with has no idea? What if you're the ghost? Because it works both ways. Emotional departure isn't something that happens to you. It's something you do. And the scariest part is how natural it feels. How justified. You tell yourself you're staying for the right reasons. You're being kind. You're waiting for the right time. But really, you're just afraid. Afraid of the explosion. Afraid of the guilt. Afraid of being the villain in someone else's story. So you stay in body. And you leave in spirit. And every day, the gap grows wider. There's a Japanese term. Mu. It means nothingness. Not the absence of something, but the presence of nothing. That's what happens in the space between two people when one has already gone. It's not emptiness. It's something heavier. It's the presence of nothing. It fills the room. It sits at the dinner table. It sleeps between you. She was gone long before goodbye. And maybe the cruelest part isn't that she left. It's that she stayed long enough for you to believe she never would. She stayed long enough for you to stop checking. To stop guarding your heart. And then, when she finally said the words, it wasn't a surprise to her. It was just the final line of a script she'd been rehearsing for months. So maybe the real question isn't why did they leave? Maybe it's, when did I stop noticing? When did I stop looking into their eyes? When did I stop asking the hard questions? When did comfort become more important than connection? Because in the end, people don't leave in a moment. They leave in 1,000 small goodbyes you never heard. And by the time they say it out loud, you're not losing them. You're just finally admitting what your heart already knew. She was gone long before goodbye. And somewhere, deep down, you always knew.